Now that we've practiced identifying transformations, let's talk about writing rules when we are given a verbal description of transformations. So we're going to start with something that's already transformed here. Notice the negative out in front of my f of x. That was a reflection over the x-axis, and negative 9 would be moving me to the right by 9. But that's what we're starting with. We want to write g of x, which is going to start with f of x and do a horizontal shrink by a factor of 1/6. Remember that we number these and we do them in order. And then we want a translation 2 units up. So that'll be my second thing. So we want to write our rule, our new equation for g of x, and then we want to evaluate g at a value of 6. So we want to figure out what g of 6 is equal to. Our first transformation, I'm going to call that h of x. And we're going to start with f of x and a horizontal shrink by a factor of 1/6. Remember that that's going to go inside with x. So I'm going to start with f, and a shrink by 1/6 is going to be multiplying by the reciprocal, or a 6. And remember that that only affects x. So we are still going to have the negative, but I'm going to replace x with 6x. The 9 stays the same. I only affect x when I do horizontal transformations. Now I want to translate 2 units up. So I'll call that g of x since this is my final one. I'm going to start with h of x, and a translation up just gets tacked onto the end. So h of x plus 2, and that's going to be negative square root of 6x minus 9, the whole h of x function, and then on the outside of the radical back behind, a plus 2. Now let's talk about evaluating g of 6. So that means start with our g of x function, and everywhere that I see x, which is just in this location, I'm going to plug in a 6 and do that math. So g of 6 is going to be equal to negative square root of 6 times 6 minus 9 and then plus 2. Let's simplify that a little bit. If I have 6 times 6, that's 36. If I subtract 9, that's going to be 27. Remember that we are taking a third root. I am really bad about that. I've told you guys that in class, but I always go back and check at some point. And that's when I just checked, is just now. So be sure you are adding those indexes of 3, just like I just did. We said that this is a third root of 27 and then plus 2. Well, the third root of 27, don't forget your negative sign. Third root of 27 is 3, and then that negative sign out in front makes it a negative 3 plus 2, finally equaling negative 1. So g evaluated at 6 is equal to negative 1.